Joining me on the broadcast to discuss more in detail, Major Mohammed Ali Shah is with us. Major Mohammed Ali Shah, your reaction on the war now entering day 23 with no resolution in sight?
Well, Priyanka, it's going to be a very even tougher days coming in ahead because, Russian army, firstly, President Putin, though that's history, whether he was provoked, what happened, is that leaving that aside. When he shouldn't have gone for invasion in the first place. He shouldn't have gone and attacked a country where the world is suffering greatly, the humanity is suffering, this coronavirus situation, the economy is suffering. And now that he did go in, and apparently been planning the attack for many years, he did go in, yes. But now it's on a way that you can neither go forward, you cannot go backwards. We have seen the 64-kilometer long convoy, which is just stuck there. And we've been hearing for days now. They're just about 10 kilometers out of Kiev, 12 kilometers. They can get into Kiev any moment now. Now they're planning, they're staging a strategy, planning a three-side attack, this, that. But I would say bad planning, bad contingency planning, bad tactics, bad input, everything was, it's mismanaged. And now when this is happening, of course, President Zelensky also has taken out videos where he's told the Russian army to surrender now. This will cheese them off even further. This will tease the Russian army. This will tease President Putin further. And this is going to be a long haul, Priyanka. It's going to be, and when Russian army is targeting civil areas, whether it is deliberate or not, we really do not know about the exact facts. Because, as your channel has taken the right stand of not going by what the Western media is showing or what the Russian media is saying, but taking a balanced stand, we do not know the real what's happening on the ground, because in a war zone, the information is limited, and in a war zone, we don't have access to many areas where the action is happening, because it's a matter of putting life at stake over there. Now, as the war enters its third week and goes beyond, this is going to be a long haul, because even if Russia, whenever it does capture Kyiv, they will ultimately put a dummy government, and then they'll put a peacekeeping force, and there will be insurgency there, which will be worse than what happened in Afghanistan.
As Major Shah very correctly said, it may be a long-drawn affair.
Major Mohammed Ali Shah, we have spoken about this before. As you said, that it's the leaders who shake hands, but it's the people who suffer. What action should the global community take at a situation where Russia has gone ahead to attack medical institutions 43 times since the start of the invasion? Your comments on this?
Priyanka, it's very unfortunate and very sad when you see medical institutions, hospitals and centers like that being attacked. Well, but there are always two sides to a coin, and there is no justification for that. Of course, it's criminal, and but also if you look at the other side, it is the Ukrainians also who have got arms, who are hiding in, who are taking these states as a shield, and who are hiding over there. So it is one clap with both the ends. Now, what can the world do to? Only thing is to get them together somehow on the negotiating table. And as Mr. Srivastava said it correctly, Russia is on the receiving end at the moment. I would really see that. And a lot of people would say, no, they're not, but they are. Let's accept it, they are. And President Putin has no choice, but yet he's adamant. He's adamant to drown and take everyone. That is what happens to dictators who have been dictating for a very long time. You can take an example right in our neighborhood, President Musharraf, General Musharraf. Now he cannot even come back to his country for that matter. So it's a very sad state of affairs. What can world community do? They can just get them together to somehow. It's not just shake hands, to sit, and they may not shake hands right now. They may not, they might sulk, and it is everyone else is buying the brunt. Peace has to prevail at any cost, because where Russia was trying to be over-ambitious or trying to protect its borders or whatever the reason could be, and we have discussed and we've analyzed that several times, so not getting back much into the history further, and only France, Israel, a few countries, India has come forward. Only a few countries have come forward as peacemakers, as peace brokers. So peace has to prevail, because otherwise President Putin is going to drown for sure, and he will take others along with him, and he will drown. And they have no option. He's cornered from all sides. be it economically, be it in a military way, in a tactical way, be it in every way. There's no point getting your chaps killed further and further and further and further bloodshed. So what can world community do? The WHO has given out the statement of 43 hospitals being attacked. The UNO, I would call the UNO as toothless tigers, because their whole objective was there should not be a third world war. And yes, hopefully not, but somewhere deep down the heart, 1% I fear that it can lead. I hope it doesn't. And the NATO cannot come put their boot on ground. So when, in fact, the best thing at this time would be actually, if you see President Putin's demand initially, reasonable. All he wanted was Ukraine to disassociate from the West. Leave alone, despite President Zelensky's hints at coming to agreeing to his demands, hints, and saying that he would not associate with NATO. Now, had this been done much earlier, probably such a situation would not have arisen. Now, Ukraine should actually cut off from the West. They should be independent. I'll give you a small example, Priyanka. When India is also, they have their adversities, China on one side, Pakistan on one side, and they are fighting insurgency on the other side. What did India do? India equipped itself. It tried preparing itself. They got S-400 from Russia, despite having the risk of having the sanctions, because Turkey had just got sanctions on them. But yet, India took the risk. India came into Make in India, Atmanirbhar Bharat. Now, what did Ukraine do? Ukraine was also under threat. Ukraine was also perceiving the threat. What did Ukraine do? Apart from relying on NATO, on EU, on this Latvia, Poland and Ukraine, that triangle that they formed, on international powers, outside external powers, what did Ukraine do? They should have actually, and Ukraine, mind you, Ukraine is a place where the MiG-21 Bisons, which have been supplied to the Indian Air Force, the biggest ships, the biggest defense equipment, was all manufactured in Ukraine. They had very good agriculture fields. They are very rich in uranium. They are very rich in they have all the resources actually possible for them. But instead of looking out for external help, unfortunately, there is a silly joke which is floating on WhatsApp called what's it called? Ukrainized, where someone assures you help and then they ditches you. So you have been Ukrainized. So that kind of jokes are floating around, because they should have actually concentrated and focused on strengthening their own selves first, instead of going out and feeling somebody else. So what can the world community do? They can encourage them that let's talk peace, and initially the Russia's demands were not very unreasonable, if you come to say. But as time goes by, more and more water will keep flowing and more people will keep dying. And then you would have gone a bit too far. Yes, a U-turn is always there, but then we would have gone a bit too far to take that U-turn, and more people would die by then. And then the Russia's demands in the coming future, I perceive them, they would get more and more unreasonable, Priyanka, and then it will be very, very difficult. So the best thing right now would get them on talk somehow, by hook or by crook.
All right. Mr. Sanjeev and Major Mohammed Ali Shah, thank you for joining us on the broadcast and sharing your views on this pertinent crisis.